We know now from the Coast Guards that 2 people have been confirmed to have been killed in this accident. Now, we are seeing some very dramatic pictures from earlier before the ship actually flipped over, seeing people being hoisted from the listing ship itself. As you say, one of the passengers called into one of the local television stations, YTN, and said that they did hear a bumping sound and then many people fell over. He believes that's when many people were injured, and that's when the ship started listing dramatically. Now, this happened about 20 kilometres off the mainland of South Korea, we understand. This vessel was on its way to Jeju Island, which is a tourist hotspot, especially at this time of year, very popular among South Koreans. It had moved from Incheon, the port of Incheon, which is just west of the capital here in Seoul, northwest South Korea. And the trip usually takes about 13 or 14 hours. And we understand as well, interestingly, from the Incheon port manager, that this vessel had actually been delayed by a couple of hours. It was supposed to leave at 6:30 p.m. last night. It didn't leave until 9 p.m. because of weather conditions.
A desperate rescue after a crowded passenger ferry suddenly began sinking off the coast of South Korea. More than 450 people were aboard the ferry, 325 of them high school students from just outside Seoul, on a class trip to a nearby resort island. One student told the Korean news network, YTN, that he heard a loud bump before the ship started to sink. Shortly after the ship issued a distress call, helicopters and boats, including a ship from the U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet, scrambled to assist the overturned vessel, rushing to rescue the frightened passengers clinging to railings, waiting for help. These 2 passengers were lifted to safety in a helicopter basket, while dozens of others were pulled out of the frigid water by rescue boats. One passenger told YTN that they were told to jump into the sea as the ship began to sink. Within hours, the ship was almost completely submerged. Only a small portion of the hull was visible above the water. The weather was clear at the time, and authorities are still not clear on what caused the catastrophe. And that is the big mystery, because this is a pretty busy sea route, so any rocks or obstacles should have been very well charted. Now, many of the students actually lost their cell phones in the ocean, so they had to borrow cell phones from rescuers to call their parents. Now, the parents of the students, still unaccounted for, have gone down to that port city near the accident, and still, Chris, as you can imagine, just being torn apart, waiting for word on what has happened to their child.
There's some brand new cell phone video into CNN claiming to be from inside the sinking ferry off the southwest coast of South Korea. Here's a video. You can see passengers in their orange life jackets, right? You see that? Apparently waiting to be rescued. And again, this is inside that sinking ferry. Can you imagine waiting to be rescued and all of a sudden the ship goes down? We cannot confirm the authenticity of this video, but the timestamp is today, April 16th, okay? And just the backstory for you, nearly 300 people still missing after the Seoul sank at breathtaking speed, while these people, some of them were waiting to be rescued. It was supposed to be a dream vacation for a huge high school class on their way to an island resort considered Korea's Hawaii. There's so much confusion right now. We don't know the exact number of passengers on board that ferry, but look at that, a child being rescued. What they know about the 164 people who have survived, many of them teenagers, dangerously close to losing their lives, some of them unable to jump, having to wait in agony for help. Listen to this.
I almost got trapped. If I was told, I could have jumped into the water through the exit, but I couldn't.